Okay, what does it mean when babies clench their toes all the time?
I'd love to help with your question. I'll never give you advice that I wouldn't give to my own patients or do for my own child. Are you available to chat?
Yes.
Great. Let me ask a couple of questions quickly, if you don't mind.
Sure.
How old is the child you're concerned about? Or are you asking in general?
It's my 8-month-old granddaughter, 6-month real age, born at 31.5 weeks. She's always clenched her toes, just wondering if that's normal.
I see. Are they clenched 100% of the time? Or does she clench and unclench them?
No, she unclenches them and we can as well. They don't go right back to clench. She did her fists too before she learned to reach and grab things.
Okay. Well, let me tell you a little bit about the fist clenching and toe clenching in babies. Stop me at any point with questions. Otherwise, I'll keep typing.
Okay.
Newborn babies are born with what's called a grasp reflex. You've seen this. When you put a finger in their palm, they squeeze the hand shut. The same thing happens with the toes and feet. That's completely normal. And it usually goes away by around 5 to 6 months old as babies learn how to control their hands consciously. However, and this is probably the reason you're writing in with your question, babies who have some neurologic problems don't lose that reflex. For example, infants with cerebral palsy have increased muscle tone all over, and often cannot consciously relax their arms and legs. The fact that the feet unclench is reassuring to me. But your granddaughter should be examined by her pediatrician to assess her muscle tone in general. As a preemie, she is unfortunately at higher risk for cerebral palsy, as I'm sure you know. However, her corrected age is, just as you pointed out, right at 6 months. So it would not be abnormal for that grasp reflex to persist until then. There is one simple thing you can try to see if this is all just a reflex. Try stroking the back of her foot lightly when her foot is clenched. That should make her open her foot up if this is all reflex.
She was born with a skin tag at the top of her bottom, top of the crack, spent 1 month in the NICU, had an MRI/CT scan to rule out any issues with that and it was clear. I did notice last night that her toes were completely unclenched, then my daughter touched her foot and she clenched one foot but then released.
That sounds like a reflex to me. And like I said, since her brain is really only 6 months old, it would not be too unusual for her to still have that normal baby reflex. Also, I agree that with a normal MRI, this is very unlikely to be a spinal cord issue. My gut feeling based on what you've told me is that this is all normal. But I obviously can't reassure you 100% without seeing your granddaughter and examining her. So I would definitely have her pediatrician take a look at her at her next checkup, and pay particular attention to her muscle tone.
I will try the technique and see if that works. She hasn't shown any signs of any neurological issues. She seems to be developing right on track, according to her doctor. She sits very well on her own and is now pulling herself to objects when she's on her tummy, hasn't quite got the concept of moving herself to her knees, but I know she will be cruising before long.
I agree, it sounds like she is doing great, despite her early entry into the world. Like I said, I suspect that this is all completely normal. but I would have her pediatrician take a look at her next visit. What other questions do you have for me?
Thanks for your help.
You're very welcome. And if I can help with anything more in the future, don't hesitate to ask.
If you have a health question and want to chat with a doctor now, visit justanswer.com/ythealth.